Hello and welcome to LearnWebDevelopment.com. My name is Craig Campbell and I want to thank you for purchasing our Introduction to WordPress video series. This video series is going to focus on creating weblogs using WordPress. We're going to talk about how to install WordPress on your own host. We're also going to talk about a way that you can set up a WordPress blog without even having to host it yourself. We're going to talk about how to set up your WordPress blog, how to customize it, how to change your options, how to create and edit and delete blog entries and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started by talking about what exactly is a blog. Well, the word blog itself is short for weblog. A weblog is basically just a website that is really nothing more than an online journal. And this online journal will contain regular entries. Usually depending on what your blog's about and depending on how much time you have, you might post as often as, 2 or 3 times a week, or you might just post, once a month or less often. But on the whole, a blog contains regular entries, and they're usually listed in reverse chronological order. So if you post a blog today, that blog entry that you posted today is going to be the very first one that's listed when somebody comes to your web page. So they're listed in reverse chronological order, usually. A blog is often centered around a specific subject. Now, it obviously doesn't have to be, but it often is. You'll find blogs out there about sports, about celebrity gossip, about science, technology, blogs about politics, blogs about religion, blogs against politics. There are even some blogs out there that talk about nothing but blogging and how to make money blogging and things like that. So blogging can also be a very lucrative thing if you're good at it. But like I said, it's often centered around a specific subject. Now, it doesn't have to be centered around a specific subject. Sometimes a blog is nothing more than an online diary where you're just keeping track of what's going on in your day, what kind of things you've been thinking about, people who cut you off on the street earlier in the day. You're just talking, and usually these kind of blogs are just for entertainment purposes or possibly to keep people in your family informed of what's going on in your life, things like that. So again, sometimes it's nothing more than an online diary. Now, companies use blogs a lot to build relationships with their customers. Blogs help companies appear more personal. When a customer reads a blog published by a company, hopefully they're able to see the company as more than just a large, vague organization that's trying to get their money from them. Companies use blogs to help their customers see them as people. So often you'll find companies' websites that have blogs from their CEO or from other high-level management positions. So again, companies often use blogs to build relationships with their customers. So now that we know what a blog is, let's talk about WordPress itself. WordPress is really nothing more than a blog publishing system. It allows you to create a blog with very little effort. WordPress itself uses PHP and MySQL. It's created with PHP, the PHP scripting language, and it interfaces with MySQL databases in order to store all your blog entries and things like that. It basically, as I mentioned before, it allows you to set up and create a blog with very, very little effort. It's very easy to set up a WordPress blog. Even if you install WordPress manually on your server, it's really not too complicated. You can usually figure out how to do all of that. But once you get it set up, it's very, very easy to maintain a blog. It's very easy to just log in, create a new entry, and log out. Another great thing about WordPress is it's absolutely free. It's an open source software that you don't have to pay for. You can simply download WordPress from their website and upload it to your own website. So you don't have to pay a cent for it. WordPress can be user-hosted or developer-hosted. A user-hosted blog is a blog where you download all the WordPress files yourself and then upload them to your own server. And the advantage of this is that you can host your blog using your own domain name. So if you have a domain name like myblogistthebestblogintheworld.com, you can actually host your blog on that domain. Now, a developer-hosted blog is different. It's hosted by WordPress themselves. And with a developer-hosted blog, you cannot use your own domain name. Instead, your URL for your blog might be something like my blog is the best blog in the world .wordpress.com. So it's a little bit of a disadvantage there, but the advantage to using a developer-hosted blog is that you don't have to install anything. You just have to sign up and get started. So a developer-hosted blog is very, very easy to get set up, but you're not able to do quite as much with it as you can with a user-hosted blog. Some competitors to WordPress, and I hesitate to call them competitors because they're all free, they're all open source, but some of their competitors include Movable Type, Blogger, and LiveJournal. So if when you're done with this video series you decide that WordPress really isn't for you, you might check out some of those other blog publishing systems and see if there's something that you like better. WordPress is definitely the most popular blogging system that's being used right now. Every blog that I've created myself has been with WordPress. Actually, I take that back. I have created one or two with Blogger back in the day, but usually I use WordPress to publish blogs. Now, Movable Type and LiveJournal, I believe this is correct, can both be user-hosted or developer-hosted, whereas Blogger is just a developer-hosted system. But there are actually dozens and dozens and dozens of competitors of blog publishing systems that are out there. So you can do a search online for blog publishing systems. In fact, if you go to wikipedia.com and do a search for blog publishing systems, they have a whole list of different free or commercial blog publishing systems that you can use. So that about wraps it up for what a blog is and what WordPress is. Hopefully you already had a pretty good idea of what a blog is, otherwise you might not have bought this video series. And hopefully you already know a little bit about WordPress, at least what WordPress is in general. But if not, it's really nothing more, like I mentioned, than a blog publishing system. It's very easy to use, and we're going to discover that as we start working through this video series. So let's stop talking and let's get started installing WordPress.